Welcome to Support Life. I'm John Hendriks and my guest today is Fiona McKenzie. Hello Fiona, welcome.
Hi John, thank you.
Nice to have you on
Pleasure
board.
to be here.
Fantastic. Fiona, tell us a little bit about yourself personally.
I'm a very creative person. I love to do things creatively. I love to help people. I'm a mother of 3 beautiful boys. I love horse riding, and yeah, I just love doing things that can make a difference.
Fantastic. And some of the things that you've written about are about life issues over the years that you were telling me about off camera. When did you start having a life for writing?
I probably started writing when I was about 8, and my first song was about horses. My mother never lets me forget that one.
Okay.
I have a passion for horses, and I learnt as a child to ride at Rundle's Riding School. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so hence my first song was about horses.
Okay.
And then it just sort of grew from there, and I would just, write songs for people's birthdays, different occasions, and when I got older I started writing songs for funerals. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of how it became about, and it's just a really good way to express myself and to get my emotions and feelings out.
Of course.
Yeah.
And for those of us who don't know a lot about songwriting or singing, so you write the song and you also sing it as well, and obviously you sing it on your own, or you sing it with others, or?
Sometimes I do things differently, like if I'm at home and I'm sitting on my piano, so I'll just write the song and then sing, or the same if I'm doing it on guitar. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I might just be driving in my car, singing in the shower, and then it will come out from then, and then I like to get other people involved. Yes. So I'll go to other musicians and I start singing, and they will just, play the music to it. Okay. Just to add a bit of variety.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Have you had training in that, or is it just gift?
Just a gift, yeah.
Just a gift, wow.
No training. That's something I'd like to do though. Okay. Get some singing lessons and music lessons.
Oh, doesn't sound like you need any though.
It'd be just good to sort of know what I'm, if people ask me questions, I give a bit of feedback on it.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We're going to be playing one of your songs that you recently played, and it's called Who Will Be My Voice, isn't it?
Yes.
So might as well talk a little bit about that. How were you inspired to write that song?
Probably last year, a friend of mine was talking to me about March for the Babies, and so she explained a bit about that to me, how they have this march every year where they do a walk, and then they end at Parliament House, and it's all just about to be a voice to protect the unborn children. And I'm a mother of 3, I love children, and so that's always been a strong passion of mine. So I actually decided to look into that further, and so I'd heard about abortion, but I never actually really knew what abortion was. So what actually took place in a woman's body and to a child during the process of an abortion. So I actually Googled it, and was absolutely horrified with the footage of what I saw. So much so that it just distressed me for such a long time. I think for about 6 weeks. I couldn't even get to sleep. I was just so emotional, just so overwhelmed that this process was, legal and able to happen. So that has sort of been stirring in my heart and in my mind for quite some time. And then this year, a friend of mine was saying, the March for the Babies rally's coming up, maybe you should write a song for that. So anyway, so I did. I approached Melissa from Bernie Finn's office and sent an email, and so I wrote the song for the March for the Babies rally, but however didn't get to perform it because the rally was disrupted. So but it's sort of, I wanted to write a song that wasn't judgmental, but that showed all the aspects of the people involved. So the first part of the song is talking about the mother, and what the experience is like for the mother. So pregnancies, whether they're planned or unplanned, they can be quite overwhelming and daunting. And there's so many reasons why women might want to terminate a pregnancy. Whether they're too young, it's not good for their health, they may have been raped. There's just so many different reasons, and I can understand all of those reasons, but still, life is a life. Doesn't matter how big or how small, it's still a life. So I wanted to get that message across, but also to put it through what it's like for the baby. So, you know, you have this beautiful child who's in a safe place in the mother's womb, you know, feeling her emotions and bond, and then to suddenly be disrupted and just ripped out and its life just taken away from the baby. And, you know, I could imagine that would be quite traumatic for both the mother and the child. So then, you know, the end part of the song, I wanted to emphasise on the healing of that, because it's quite traumatic. And, you know, there'd be, I could only imagine, you know, what the mother would have to go through and the feelings that she would have after an abortion. And just to emphasise on God's love, because he's so forgiving. So it's like, you know, God loves the mother, God loves the baby, God loves the abortionist who takes out the procedure. So I just wanted to put out there the message that, you know, even though this process might have taken place, God still loves you and God still forgives you. To give the mother an opportunity to, you know, to be able to move forward in her life and move through that grief.
Yes, absolutely. And obviously, being a mother of three, you've felt the connection to having a baby in you know, carrying a baby in the womb yourself.
Yeah.
So you're telling viewers and future mums that you know the feeling, and it's such a beautiful thing. But it's not until the first ultrasound till you feel the connection that you see the life force in there. Is that right?
Absolutely. Like the start of the pregnancy, it just, everything's so surreal. It just doesn't seem real. Like it's really, so many emotions go through your head, and it's so hard to comprehend. And well, personally, I find myself, it wasn't till the first ultrasound that reality actually sinks in that, hey, I am pregnant. There is a living life inside of me that I'm responsible for, to care for, to nurture. Even just, you know, you need to make sure that you're eating healthy so that your baby inside you is healthy. So it's a big responsibility, but just an amazing feeling as you're growing with that baby, I mean physically as well. Yes. But you're just growing together, and just that bond and that protectiveness that you feel for the baby.
Yes, absolutely. And it's certainly not that we are condemning anybody who has, you know, made some different choices in life, but it's a matter of making them aware of perhaps there may be other alternatives to them, you know, to you know, maybe the last resort instead of possibly the first resort.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, you know, I've spoken to so many people that want to have children, but they can't have children. So I would say that, you know, the solution is, you know, to unwanted pregnancies or unplanned pregnancies would be definitely to adopt the child out.
So this is the song that you recently sung at the pro-life competition recently, so we're going to be watching that very shortly. You're watching Support Life. Straight after the break, we're going to watch the song that Fiona wrote, Who Will Be My Voice? Stay tuned, and we'll be back straight after that.
So confused, I don't know what to do. I'm pregnant, this wasn't in my plans to have you. I'm not ready to love you. I was raped, I know it's not your fault. I'm sorry, this is all too much for me. I don't think I can carry you. I'm too young, I'm too old. Gotta think of my health, can't raise a child alone. Will I miss what I haven't known? Are you just a pool of cells? Sleeping under a cloud of deception. Life begins at conception. Abortionist lie, money-making scheme, invisible gun, silent scream. A life is gone, empty space. If only you could see my face. I feel love, I feel pain. Mommy, please call my name. Give me a life, let me live. I love you, Mommy, I forgive. Innocent baby in my mother's womb, I'm happy. I get to meet you soon. I love you to the moon. So many dreams of what my life will be like. Imagine a lullaby as you hold me tight. Tiny hands, tiny toes, beating heart, tiny nose. In your womb, safely I grow. I'm not just a pool of cells. Sleeping under a cloud of deception. Life begins at conception. Abortionist lie, money-making scheme, invisible gun, silent scream. Life is gone, empty space. If only you could see my face. I feel love, I feel pain. Mommy, please call my name. Give me life, let me live. I love you, Mommy, I forgive. I don't feel safe in here. It's cold, it's dark, your womb is fear. What is happening in here? Mommy, I feel pain, make it stop, call my name. It's hard to breathe. Reaching out for you, my arms are gone, my heart is beating so fast. Mommy, where are you? I'm fading away, I see a light. Mommy, don't leave me. Jesus is holding me tight. My heart has stopped, and now I'm gone. I love you, Mommy. What did I do wrong? Please sing me a song. I wish you could have stayed with me. So many dreams of what my life would be. I wish there was another way. Life always finds a way. I wonder if you had my eyes. Mommy, you'd be surprised. You would have been 12 today. It would have been my birthday. I'm ready to love you. Mommy, I love you. I'm sorry. I forgive you. Do I have a choice? Yes, Mommy, be my voice.
Welcome back to Support Life. Just before the break, we were watching Fiona's song. Fiona, that was a beautiful song.
Thank you.
And tell us what other inspirations you have in relation to songwriting.
So many different ideas, I
Yes.
guess. I like to write songs to advocate for people and in situations that don't have a voice. So I would like to, a project I really want to work on next is on anti-bullying. Yeah, and so just different issues and topics that really need to be addressed.
Mm-hmm. some of the issues, that obviously face our society. There's a lot of issues that face our society with, young children and young girls and those sort of things. Are they some of the issues that that you've possibly?
Like we've noticed with teenagers, there's drugs, there's peer pressure, suicide, depression. There's so many different issues that need to be dealt with and addressed. And I think if people can have an understanding of that and realise that there are solutions out there, I would just like to put a positive outlook on
absolutely.
that. And I think through creative arts, through music, through short films, theatre, these sort of ideas that I would like to step forward with,
to expand
and create.
I mean, if the talent's there and you've got the ability to write songs, and why not write them and help people along the way. And you've got a real heart for that, and also speaking to you off camera, you're very much spirit-filled, and you work with things that some of your experiences you were telling me about, that you've written songs for people.
It's incredible, like just to write a song, and it's like I'm writing about this person feeling their emotions and their journey. And so often I'll pray about that, and just God will just give me the inspiration for those lyrics and the emotion. When
we were speaking earlier about your your pro-life, or finding out about abortion, I guess, and then writing about it, some of the grief that you experienced during that time when you saw some horrific examples and you read about it, I imagine that's probably what women may feel post an abortion, that grief. What would you think about that?
Definitely, and I've read some books on that too, where there is that it's a grieving process. And even as a mother myself, after giving birth to a child, this may sound a bit strange, but this is my personal experience, that after I've given birth to the baby, I feel this emptiness inside me, like the baby sitting here in the bassinet beside you, but there's just this absence here. And it feels very overwhelming. And so I could only imagine that, for some mother who has gone through the process of an abortion, that eventually she would, feel that grief, and there would be a process of healing that would need to take place. From different people that I've spoken to, they may say that, they might live in denial for a while, or, they might just, be lying in bed one day and then all of a sudden think, I wonder if that child would have looked like me, or did that child have my eyes, or whatever. And that's like a line that I put in the song too. So I just personally couldn't imagine what it would be like to travel that journey and to process those emotions and move through them. Would be really quite difficult.
Absolutely. And why do you think that topic of abortion is one that's not spoken about much, or not sort of dealt with much in community, or within friends or family circles? It's sort of like a real taboo, isn't it? Why do you?
I think because it's very delicate. Like, just speaking to different women, like I said, each person has their own opinion, and it's like, sexual abuse is a hard topic to talk about, and it sort of has that same feeling. It's like, people don't want to know about it, and they don't want to hear about it. And so that's another reason why I just wanted to bring that into the light, so that people realise that this is real, it is a topic, and yes, it is sensitive, but I think people need to be aware of that, and people are going, like the statistics, there's just millions of babies, having their lives taken every day. So how many mothers are going through this experience as well? But yeah, I just think the more people talk about it, and the more open people are, more awareness will come from that.
And that's what your song does. It brings awareness, and it really outreaches your feelings and emotions externally. If people watching this were moved by what you've said, and we hope that there are some that are, what could they do? What would they do about, one, maybe where could they get a copy of the song, and two is, what could they do if they wanted to do something more about this topic?
Australian Christians, we're going to put that on their website, so they'll have all the information there that will be available if anybody would like to, you know, hear that song again, or maybe in a future purchase, or whatever they would like to do. In regards to pro-life, there's so many people out there who are, you know, wanting to get together. So I think, you know, local church, community, council offices would always be a good place to call that would put you in the right direction.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that. And the March for the Babies, did you were there at the March for the Babies?
Yeah,
yes.
So I actually attended the March for the Babies, and the actual song "Who Will Be My Voice" was actually written
for it.
Yeah, for that event. However, it got very, you know, disrupted, so we were unable to do that. However,
okay.
But yeah, so I didn't really get to have an up close and a personal experience of what is supposed to happen at one of those marches. Yeah, from what I saw this year, wasn't that pleasant.
It was. Yeah, I was there for the first time as well, and I felt quite intimidated and frightened. But I guess that's what the opposition wants us to feel. But we need to feel collectively strong together and bring a presence about, and bring awareness about, and not be intimidated, although it's easy to be intimidated, especially if you have children there.
Yeah.
But will you be coming next year?
Absolutely. So I'm actually, they're getting me to sing the song next year, so I will do that. I'm hoping it'll be a lot more, you know, under control.
Yes.
I was actually quite taken back though, like just as an observer, we were actually listening to and showing respect to the other side. You know, because everyone has an opinion and everyone has the right to their opinion. So we listened to them. It just would have been nice if the same respect had have been for the other side too. Yeah,
absolutely. I agree with you. But nevertheless, next year the police and other people have said that they'll try and control the other side a little bit better, but nevertheless we've just got to try to get more and more people there as much as we can. Yeah. On that note, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming and expressing your views. You've been watching Support Life. Our guest has been Fiona McKenzie. Please watch us next week when we have another guest. Goodbye for now.